This is the new DF64P, an upgrade to the quote-unquote niche killer. I just got this grinder about a day ago at the time of recording, so consider this more so an overview and first impressions video and not really a full review. Now, full disclosure, this was sent to me by my friends at Cliff and Pebble, where you can also use discount code Chris for a free Akaya Lunar with any espresso machine purchase. Check them out using the link in the description down below. Also, the original DF64 was sent to me by my friends at Espresso Outlet, so I'll also leave a link to them in the description down below. This video is not sponsored, but is supported by those of you that use my affiliate links and can also join as a channel member to further help support the channel. Okay, so let's start with an impromptu unboxing that I filmed yesterday evening. Okay, in the box we've got our usual guide and instructions. And taking it out of the box, we can now see that the DF64P looks quite different from the original DF64. So here it is, the new DF64P in a new matte black, almost Cerakote-like finish with some walnut wood accents, which looks incredible. I like this already cosmetically a lot more than the original DF64. So we also have what looks like to be the same dosing cup. We also have this plastic piece which looks like it's meant to sit on top over here and has this sort of anti-popcorning design to it. We also have the bellows like the original one, and also a metal funnel, which I'm not too certain what this is for. It looks like it might be to reduce the size of the opening of the dosing cup so that maybe you can dose into a smaller, by my guess, a 54mm portafilter. Yep, so that is a 54mm opening. Okay, so it looks like that this is designed to be able to increase how much you can dose into this grinder at once. In the instruction manual, it does say it has a capacity of 50 grams. So in addition to this looking like it can sort of step down this ring from a 58mm opening to a 54, it looks like because of that added height, it would also help control some of the grounds when you're using the bellows system here and hopefully get it more into the actual dosing cup and less of a mess like the original DF64 is known for. In the box we also get a hex key, which looks like it'll be used right here on top of the grinder to open it up and get inside the burr chamber. Okay, so after spending the evening playing around with it, taking some B-roll, and comparing it to the original DF64, here's what I've concluded are some of the biggest key differences with this grinder. Firstly, I do believe this version of the DF64 is now more espresso focused and not as much an all-arounder like the original was, and it definitely has some design elements that speak to that. But first, comparing the build qualities, this one obviously has a more perpendicular enclosure now versus the slanted shape of the original. It also comes in this new powder-coated matte black finish and has some walnut wood accents, which you already know I'm a huge fan of and looks awesome on my bar. The build overall feels like everything was more thought out, more intricately designed, and has a better use of space. The original DF64 has a design very similar to the niche with that spring-loaded screw mechanism that needs to be completely unscrewed to remove the upper burr. In the new DF64P, there are 2 hex screws that can be loosened to more quickly and easily remove that top burr. Another key difference in these two grinders is that the original, which again much like the niche, uses that spring-loaded screw mechanism to lower the top burr against the lower burr. In the new version, the grind size is adjusted using this little lever here on the bottom that moves laterally. Moving this back and forth moves the lower burr up and down, so the top burr actually no longer moves. Now, I'm not sure how this change will have, if any, significance on the shots pulled, but it does seem to limit the range of grind sizes, which again speaks to that espresso focus. One potential issue that comes to mind immediately that I'll be testing over the next few weeks is if how tightly screwed in that upper piece needs to be will influence the grind consistency. I think that might be worth investigating, especially if you might tighten one side a little bit more than the other. Inside the grinders, you can see that the original DF64 has much more empty space, which in turn led to a lot more grounds being retained when I went to clean the grinder. In the DF64P, however, empty space is a lot more limited and everything just feels like it's been designed with tighter tolerances, which in turn has led to better, aka less, retention and easier to clean. Other key feature changes include the relocation of the power button and power cable to the right side, which I kinda have mixed feelings on. I have no issue with the button being on the right, but the power cable being there kinda sucks. I do wish it stayed on the back. The grinder does have one other quirk to it, and that's that when you push the button to turn it on, it shifts. Every button press kinda makes it jump a little bit to the right, just a little bit, which can be a mild annoyance. This issue was not something I found on the original. Now unfortunately, I can't do a proper A/B test in terms of grinding for espresso, because on the DF64 here, I only have the SSP Unimoto burrs, and on the DF64P, I have the stock manufacturer burrs, so it wouldn't quite be an apples to apples comparison. That being said, I did run some doses through each grinder to test something like retention, and boy did they fix that. On the original DF64, I was getting an average 1 gram of retention per dose before bellowing, and got an average of 0.3 to 0.4 grams after bellowing. With the DF64P, I was getting just 0.3 to 0.4 grams of retention before using the bellows, and just 0.1 afterwards, which is a really nice upgrade to see. Unfortunately, chaffing does still seem to be an issue with the new model, so RDT may be beneficial here. Overall, the DF64P feels more heavy duty than the original, with more metal being used and generally feeling a bit more premium, and I'm a fan of this change, especially with those wood accents. Now, if there is anything you would like to know about this grinder versus the original, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below so that I can test it and hopefully provide a more in-depth review of this grinder in the future. As always, if you like this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.